Welcome to the Spirit of a Badass, where we celebrate stories of courage, hope, and resiliency. I'm your host, Alecia Jacobson.
Hello, my beautiful badasses. How are we today? Thank you for listening to today's episode. I have been giving you some sort of, when I think of the idea of a badass, what are all of the kind of components of it? And today, we're kind of going to talk about maybe what you might think is the opposite, because what I used to think, and I think it's kind of a very like 2010 to 2020 idea. Maybe I just made that fucking up. I have no really idea what this thought came from. Maybe for me, that is when I held this notion, was sort of this do it all, and not just do it all, but do it all to an extreme. Everything had to be, and like, I'm not a perfectionist, but everything had to be big. Everything had to be the best. Not only do it the best, but it had to be perceived as, we kind of want others to see us in a certain light. And to some extent, I still have a tinge of this. I care what people think, even if I say I don't give a fuck what people think. There's still a part of me that does. But this came today. So I am in exercise class, and I do Orange Theory. I've talked about that a couple times on here. And what that is it's an hour-long class, a group class. And the first part is on the treadmill, and the second part is using weights. And I have not been running since probably January. So about 6 months, I've just been walking. And I decided last week that I was going to start running again. So today I'm like running, and I'm dying running because I haven't ran in forever. And I turned to my friend and I said, I don't want to do this, but I am doing this. And I said, I can't remember if I told you, but I have to give so much mental strength and mental energy to so many different areas of my life because shit has been hard, that I did not have the ability to also feel discomfort in my exercise. And I'm still showing up. Like, it still is not easy, but when I run, it's like I have to mentally talk myself into not stopping 100% of the time. And this has been the case since I was running in high school. Like, it's not like I'm out there like, this is delightful. I love this. This is like therapy, even though it is like therapy. I have to continually talk myself into not stopping because I'm just uncomfortable. And I did not have the capacity to do that in my exercise. And I still wanted to be exercising. I didn't want to not, but I didn't have the capacity in that area. And as I said it, and I was driving home today, I'm like, I think this is a really important message, because I didn't make that mean anything. I was just going and walking. I wasn't like, oh, you fucking loser. You're not running. It's a running class. And here, even though they say like you can walk too, I would consider myself, if you said, are you a runner? I'd probably make a joke, but I would consider myself a runner. But I didn't make it mean anything. It meant nothing. It just was. And I really think that when life hands you a shitstorm, your ability to adjust, and I didn't even really realize at the time that I was making this adjustment. I realized it a while ago, but I don't think I was intentionally like, my life is on fire. I'm having to hold my shit together in all of these areas of life. So I'm going to walk on the treadmill instead of run because I don't have the capacity. Like, that did not happen. It's just that this way of being is such a part of who I am now that it just was natural to me. But I do this with my life coaching and health coaching. Like, if you have a particularly stressful month coming up, and you are maybe adding a couple more things, or you're like, oh, I'm just feeling really shitty. I'm feeling just unhealthy. I really want to work with you today on my nutrition and getting my exercise going. But I know, because we meet, that shit is difficult right now. The more difficult things you add on to your life, the more fucking difficult life is going to get, right? So looking at your complete life and deciding, okay, if things are really hard right now, what what can give? And this could look absolutely mine was in exercise, but this absolutely is going to depend on your particular life, but also what meaning are you attaching to it? For instance, one of my clients is doing exercise. And so she's using me for some accountability with exercise. And I hadn't heard from her. So I'm like, hey, just checking in because she was going to check in with me. And she said, like, not good or something, but she told me, like, how she did exercise. It was just today that she didn't get up. And I missed several classes in the last couple of weeks because life, the kids are out of school. There's all these things that I'm having to adjust for. It means fucking nothing. It literally means nothing. But to her, if she didn't hit everything, and that's why I said, I'm like, was it the plan? No. Does it have to mean something negative? Also, no. So, what you make things mean matters. To me, not running on the treadmill meant absolutely nothing. It was just preserving a little bit of mental strength so that I could use it in the rest of my life. And there are so many areas that you may not even realize that you could scale back a little bit or preserve a little bit. I was having this conversation with my husband about kind of adding more stress. Things are, I know I've talked about his new role at work and how he's having to travel and he's working a lot. And it's been really, really hard for me personally. And that is a lot of when I'm saying like I'm having to hold things together. It's been a real struggle for me, like parenting on my own, just all different things that I didn't necessarily want. And I am not the most flexible person. If I think things are going to be a certain way, my expectation is that I will set up life in order to make them so. And this has completely taken, like, those snow globes, like if my life is a snow globe, it is just all shook the fuck up. And I'm like, wait, wait a hot second here. This is not what I thought. And things that I think are going to go a certain way. And it's like rapid fire coming at me every week, every month. And I haven't been able, I was saying, I just feel unsteady and I'm having to hold it together, not succeeding, not in the least a lot of the time. But my husband and I were talking about looking at our lives and what are the things that are causing extra stress right now. So not only was I'm talking about I'm not running at the gym because I don't have the capacity. I need to save. But when we were looking at our marriage and thinking of that relationship, what are the ways that we are either creating extra stress? What are the ways that we could not add to that stress? This could mean financially, this is time, this is just anything where taking on a new thing is going to overload what we already have. And how can we look at our relationship in the same manner and look at our household in the same manner? How can we just really constrict on anything that is going to take more time, energy, money, all the things that you think of that cause stress within a relationship? How can we, one, not add more to it? And two, what are the ways that we can just start pouring back in to create more energy? Because I am really fucking good at mental strength. I have had so much work in this area that, like, nailed. I'm good at it. And I also don't want to have to do it. Like, have you ever just been like, fucking, why can't it just be easy? Like, why can't it? Like, I don't want to have to tap into the skill that I have. Like, I don't want to. So that is what I'm trying to like lower all of the things that could divert that or make me use it more, because that is not a muscle that I'm wanting to flex right now. Whatever your life looks like, wherever you are, seeing, are there areas that I can constrict a little bit? Are there relationships that are maybe causing more stress right now? I mean, I'm not getting rid of my husband. Is it causing stress? Yes, it is. Not doing that. But there might be other ones out there that are tricky or causing, stress that you don't need to have. Are you, buying things that you don't need that are just causing more stress? Or do you have just stuff? I know on the other episode I talked about kind of purging things. What are you holding on to? What are the things that maybe you think you have to do when maybe you actually don't? Like, it's all fucking made up, right? Everything is made up. All of the views we have are made up. And how can you look at things to constrict when you need to constrict and then expand? I mean, I didn't run the entire time, but I ran. So now I'm like, okay, I I have the space now that I can be expansive in a little more, at least at the gym, I can be more expansive, not everywhere yet. But knowing that that is part of life, that is part of your story, 100% doesn't need to look the same every single day. And I know my perfectionist will be like, what the fuck, Alecia? But it really doesn't. It doesn't have to look the same every day. It doesn't have to look the same every season, every year. And adjusting in certain areas and adjusting what you think about. Like, it doesn't mean something negative. It doesn't mean that you are not good enough. It doesn't have to mean anything at all. You can make it mean whatever the fuck you want. It can mean that you're fucking amazing because you have the ability to be like, you know what? This is not important right now. What is important is these other areas and making sure that I preserve them or improve them or whatever it is that you are wanting to funnel into that, or just preserve your fucking sanity, right? So it's all fucking made up. You can do whatever you want, whenever you want, and you can create a very intentional life by making some adjustments and not making them mean something negative, and really making sure, like, is this, maybe you've always done it, but is it still fucking helpful? Like, I've always ran there, but it wasn't helpful. It was not. I did not want to. I just wanted to feel good and comfy and cozy. And is lifting weights necessarily comfy and cozy for me? No. But is it really difficult on my brain? Also, no. Was the running? Hell yeah. And I did not have space for that. And that was okay. And it is okay for you. So look at your life, see what areas, if you're in this space where it just feels a lot, a lot, what are the areas that you can constrict or reimagine or make a new story for it? Because it's totally possible. All right. I hope you have a fabulous day. I hope this was helpful. And if you would love to, like to, want to leave a review, I would really appreciate that. That helps us reach more people. And you can either write a review or just give your stars, but I would be so appreciative of that. All right. Have a good day.
Spirit of a Badass is a Lit Path Studios podcast and is produced by Jamie Gale and Alecia Jacobson. Music by Shane Ivers. We'll be back with another inspiring interview. Until then, keep your spirits high and your energy badass.